Hey, I'm Adam Jusko from ProudMoney.com, and in this video we are going to talk about which secured credit cards graduate the fastest to unsecured credit cards. But before we do that, I would ask you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not already, and if you have already, I thank you for doing so. So there are a decent number of people that watch our videos who are either new to credit or have had some credit problems in the past. And if you have watched our other videos, then you probably know secured cards are one of the ways that I often talk about as being a good way to either get yourself started with credit or to rebuild your credit. But obviously for most people, if you get a secured credit card, you know, your hope is that you are going to get to an unsecured credit card as fast as possible. So yes, you're going to put down that deposit and you're going to, do all the right things. But ultimately, your hope is that you are going to move on to an unsecured credit card. And then you'll even, hopefully upgrade to even better cards as you go on. So for many people, the question that they are going to have is, which of the credit cards are going to get me there the fastest? If I get a secured credit card, which one of them is going to get me to unsecured status as fast as possible? So in sort of making a list here and telling you which are the fastest and which are the slowest, I'm going on, sort of two things. Number one are the words that the banks themselves are saying about their secured cards. Some of them are more specific than others in terms of telling you when they may move you on to unsecured. And the other aspect of it is going to be data points from people that have actually gone through these things. So this is like from looking at forums, from people I've talked to myself, from people that have commented on other videos we've made. So we're sort of using those two things together and making, sort of an educated guess, I guess you could say, as to which cards normally are the fastest ones to move you to unsecured status. So number one, I think that most people would say, at least of the big credit card issuers that offer secured credit cards, is Discover. For most people, 8 months, they are going to have the first time that they are sort of eligible to move to an unsecured card. And, if you've paid off your bills on time, and you don't have that terrible of a credit history, many people are finding themselves at 8 months that they graduate from the Discover secured card to unsecured status. So that is pretty quick. If you're someone that wants to get an unsecured card, 8 months of having a secured card is not so bad. Again, no guarantee that you're going to get there, but for many people, 8 months is the standard for Discover. And so that's sort of the best of what I would consider the major card issuers. Now, number two is sort of really, I guess, would be the number one in a lot of cases, but they are sort of a smaller issuer and not everyone can have them. And that is Navy Federal Credit Union. So if you qualify, either through a military or Department of Defense relationships or work within those organizations, and you can get a Navy Federal Credit Union secured card. And, on their website and other materials, they talk about 6 months as being the time when you may graduate from secured to unsecured. Many other people have said it has even happened faster to them. So some people are talking about as quick as 4 months. So if you are someone that is eligible for a Navy Federal Credit Union, you may want to consider joining if you haven't already in order to get that secured card, because it sounds like you can move pretty quick from secured to unsecured status. A couple other banks, a little smaller, but still major enough that they definitely are worth looking at. TD Bank has a secured credit card. Don't have a ton of information about this, but they talk themselves about 8 months being a possibility. Obviously, for some people, it'll take a little bit longer, but they're starting to look at you at 8 months, so that is a good thing. First National Bank of Omaha, or what some people would just say FNBO, they offer a secured credit card, and they start looking at you for an upgrade to an unsecured card at 11 months. So you're getting under a year there, and I know they also give you the option, or they sort of give the possibility that they will actually increase your credit line even before that 11 months, so that your initial deposit, you'll actually get a credit line that is beyond it. So say you put $300 down, they may jack your credit line up to $800 at like 7 months or something like that. But 11 months is when they talk about actually graduating from secured to unsecured. Now I'm going to lump these next three banks all together because It's a little bit gray in terms of when they actually do graduate people. It seems like there are data points sort of all over the board. So what I'm really going to do is talk about all of them as if it is about a year, because it seems like it may go anywhere from 9 months to 15 months with these particular issuers. If you've had a secured card, you may, find out that you've been on either side of that 12-month range. But that's Capital One, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo. All three of them, do graduate you from secured to unsecured, but none of them give a whole lot of information publicly as to when that is going to happen. And probably that is because it could happen, all sorts of different times. I've seen all sorts of different data points for these three. One thing about Capital One, when you put your money down, like the First National Bank of Omaha I just talked about, you do have the possibility after 5, I believe, on-time payments that they will increase your credit line without asking for any more money. So again, if you have $300 that you put down initially for a $300 credit line, might move up to $800 or whatever at that point. But in terms of actually graduating from secured to unsecured, you had a little longer wait. You should probably figure on a year for Capital One or Bank of America or Wells Fargo. And if you get any better than that, you'll be pleasantly surprised. And the worst about moving you from secured to unsecured is Citibank. For the most part, you are going to have to go a full 18 months with Citibank before they're going to move you from secured to unsecured. Some people have said it has happened faster for them, but for the most part, you are going to have to wait 18 months. If you really want to have a relationship with Citibank, maybe that makes sense to you. But, from where I'm standing, looking at these other ones that graduate you a lot faster, would make more sense to me that you would start with one of those with the hopes that your good payment history is going to get you where you want to go a little quicker. As always, your mileage may vary. Your personal credit history obviously is always going to make a difference, and how you use credit outside of this secured credit card, if you have other credit cards or other loans or whatever, obviously is going to impact when you may move from secured to unsecured as well. But that's sort of a rough ranking of all of them. If you have had a secured card that has graduated to an unsecured card from any of these banks or any other banks, I would love to hear that information in the comments. Obviously, anyone in that boat wants to have more and more data points so they can get an idea of what they might be able to expect. So thanks for watching. Please go to proudmoney.com, where we do credit card reviews and personal finance news and all sorts of other fun stuff too. Thanks for watching. Bye.